a very warm welcome to you all the panelists and all the students here today. CanAm presents Canadian Universities and Colleges Conclave, which is a part of the CanAm webinar series. And this is the second day of the 3-day conclave and the first topic for today. A little introduction to who's CanAm. We at CanAm have been pioneers in career counseling for students headed to Canada for almost a quarter century now. Please do listen to our various videos on our website to hear what top universities and colleges have to say about CanAm counselors, the services, also about their own programs, the eligibility criteria, scholarship options, as well as what flexibilities they're offering during the COVID-19 situation, which is really dynamic and it keeps changing. CanAm is very, very special to Canada. We've been supporting Canadian education, and have been sending large number of students, quality students to Canada. Anurag Sandhu, our CEO, is an ICCRC member, which means that he's a regulated Canadian government licensed consultant for guidance on visa and permanent residency processes in Canada. As a student, you would need to take guidance from a registered licensed immigration consultant for your study permit. But also, most students who are headed to Canada also look at permanent residency as an option after finishing their studies and gaining some Canadian work experience. That being the case, you really need to plan smart, which means you need to know what are the various PR options available to you, what are the different provincial nominee programs, what are the kind of regional skills that are needed in different regions, what kind of points you get for different programs that you could study, and all that can only be given to you by a licensed immigration consultant. Otherwise, you'll be in for a lot of misery after that. So at CanAm, we can claim this rare combination of long and licensed experience of promoting Canadian education, Canadian careers, and pathways to permanent residency in Canada. Please do not seek visa assistance or PR guidance from unlicensed agents. CanAm is one of the largest overseas education consulting companies with a network of offices in over 30 locations across India and in Toronto, Canada. We give career advice to over 2 lakh students and professionals each year and process about 75,000 applications for university and college admissions in Canada. Our artificial intelligence-driven platform, iApply, has contributed significantly to these numbers this year. In fact, our grateful thanks to all our university and college partners who have supported us through various initiatives. We've managed to conduct about 90 odd webinars, live webinars with question and answer sessions. We've shot about 150 odd videos, and that has helped us to reach out to such a large number of students. In fact, even this conclave, we've managed to reach out to, I think, about almost 10,000 students have registered for the various 8 sessions that we are having. So thank you to one and all. CanAm has free services for students, and all the free services include live interaction with delegates through webinars, visits, web fairs, office activities, and road shows, and so on. Career counseling, admission services, getting application fee waivers where possible, visa guidance, providing scholarship options where possible, and interview preparation where it's needed. So why this conclave? As leaders in promoting Canadian education for 2.5 decades, this conclave by CanAm is a logical step towards removing myths and clarifying a lot of frequently asked questions that have been confusing students all along for a lack of regulated guidance and licensed consultants in India. We thank all our panelists for taking time out of their zones and sharing this huge responsibility with us in reaching out to students and parents on 8 hot topics related to Canadian education. So the Canadian Universities and Colleges Conclave is focusing on Canadian education and skill development for Indian students and working professionals. And the topic for this session is Canadian job market and the post-study work opportunities for students in different provinces. So promoting Canadian education with a global perspective, our panelists for today, and I'm going to call them out in an alphabetical order. Carolyn Burku, Director, Pathway Partnerships, ILAC Education Group, Ontario and Alberta. Carolyn is a BA graduate from the University of Toronto with postgraduate studies in social services worker for immigration and refugees. Carolyn has a combined experience of more than 20 years as Assistant Labour Market Analyst for the Canadian Government's Department of Employment and Immigration, and in the development and management of partnerships with Canadian universities and colleges for the purposes of international student recruitment. With this combination, she provides a unique and valuable service to ILAC students and agents. Thank you for being with us today, Carolyn. Panelist number 2, Chris Slade, Senior Dean, International Education and Computer Services Studies, Lambton College, Sarnia, Ontario. Chris Slade began his career at Lambton College in 2008 and is the Senior Dean of International Education, responsible for Lambton's 3 study locations in Sarnia, Mississauga, and Toronto. Chris holds a BA Honours in Business Administration from the Richard Ivey School of Business and a Master of Science from the University of Guelph. He's also a regulated Canadian immigration consultant, RCIC, with the Immigration Consultants of Canada Regulatory Council, ICCRC. Chris's emphasis on the quality of education has contributed to Lambton College's key performance indicator of 100% satisfaction rate for employers who hire Lambton College graduates. International graduates at Lambton are similarly satisfied. On the most recent survey, 96% of international graduates indicated they would recommend Lambton College. Thank you today for being with us, Chris. Our next panelist, Nee Jingwa, Manager International Programs, Memorial Universities, St. John's, Newfoundland. Nee has worked in the international education sector for more than a decade. She is responsible for graduate recruitment and student support for engineering programs at Memorial University. She has an MBA and an MEd from Memorial University under her belt and would be happy to share some thoughts with students seeking personal and professional development. Thank you today for being with us, Nee. Panelist number 4, Rob Finlayson, Manager Partnerships and Pathways, Carleton University, Ottawa. Rob is a seasoned international admissions professional with over 10 years of experience in international education in both Canada and the UK. As manager of Carleton University's Partnerships and Pathway programs, Rob is responsible for creating new opportunities for international students and has traveled extensively around the world, meeting students and parents to provide advice and guidance on university admissions. Rob is a passionate public speaker who regularly presents on Canadian university admissions and advises students about study options in Canada in general and at Carleton University in particular. He loves helping students and find the right pathway to reach their academic goals. Thank you, Rob, for being here. Our 5th panelist, Varsha Khurana, Recruitment Advisor, South Asia, Vancouver Island University, Nanaimo, BC. Varsha comes with more than 14 years of work experience in international marketing, student recruitment, and strategic alliances in the Middle East, South Asia, Europe, and North America. She's a member of FICCI Ladies Organization and PhD Chamber of Commerce. Good to have you with us, Varsha. Our panelist number 6, Zamir Rizvi, International Student Recruitment Officer, Fleming College, Peterborough, Ontario. Zamir was born and raised in Mumbai, India. At 22, he went to Canada as an international student to study a PG program at Fleming College from 2015 to 2017. He worked in an IT company for 6 months, and then in January 2018, he was talent hunted back at Fleming College, and since then is enjoying international student recruitment. He has first-hand experience of the journey of an international student from deciding colleges or programs to becoming a permanent resident of Canada with total commitment. He says, I try my best to share my experiences with international students to help them in any possible way I can. Thank you for being with us here today, Zamir. Thank you all panelists and students. Please continue to ask your questions. Click on the chat button on your screen, type in your WhatsApp number, name, and the city that you're located in along with your questions. An expert CanAm counselor closest to your location will contact you. And if your question is absolutely unique, we'll pick it up for one of the panelists to answer today. So thank you for joining in. And with this, we move on to the conclave and over to the panelists. Okay, so today's topic is the Canadian job market and post-study work opportunities for students in different provinces across Canada. After you graduate from your program of studies, you may be able to work temporarily, after which you could even live permanently in Canada. And that is what makes Canada most exciting. Today's students are smart. They want to be ready for the Canadian job market. Chris, my first question is to you. Chris, Lambton College is recognized as a leader in applied research among Canadian colleges. Lambton has won numerous accolades for innovation, quality, and contributions to the community. How can students make the most of studying in such a college? What can or should they do during their study period prior to graduation to improve their postgraduate employment success?
Well, thank you, Ganga, and good evening, all of our students, parents, and I even see some young children on the screen. So that's really it's really nice to meet everyone today. And as Ganga said, Lambton College is very much involved in applied research. Applied research is where professors and students work with private companies to develop new technologies. And it certainly is one way for students to prepare themselves for a postgraduate employment opportunity. Lambton College, as Ganga said, is ranked #1 in Ontario and #3 in Canada in applied research. But I want to talk more in general terms for the audience as to what students can do during their study period, from the first day they arrive to when they graduate, on how to prepare themselves for a job. And this advice would apply to any of the wonderful institutions that are participating today, not just Lambton College. And what I've seen from our successful international graduates is that they are very much engaged in the community, in the school, in the workforce during their studies. So what do I mean by that? In terms of a student, only 25% of your time will be spent in a classroom. 75% of the rest of your time each week is up to you to decide how you spend it. But how you spend it is so important to preparing yourself for a good job in Canada. And some examples where I've seen students spend their time is, of course, a part-time job is important, but a part-time job is only one aspect. It's really important to volunteer at your school, in the community, to participate in extracurricular activities. I noticed Varsha is belonging to the Chamber of Commerce. She belongs to a women's club. Those are the types of activities that students really need to engage in with the 75% of their time outside the classroom. Because whether it's a part-time job, volunteer work, extracurricular activities, or if you're in a program that has a co-op, having a co-op placement, all of these things develop your connections in Canada, your relationships, they improve your communication skills. And equally important is, by the time you graduate, you need 3 professional references. Supervisors or people that you've worked with in a capacity of volunteer or work that can vouch for you as a reliable, trustworthy, talented, skilled worker. And I think if you have that plan in mind from the first day you arrive in Canada, by the time you graduate, you will be very well positioned for an excellent job. And I would encourage students to, and all of our institutions have YouTube channels. Lambton has, it's Lambton International. We have a lot of students sharing those types of stories, what helped them be successful in finding a job. And I would encourage the audience to check out that site. Thank you, Ganga.
Thank you, Chris. Rob, my next question to you. Enrolled at Carleton University in the capital city of Ottawa are around 31,000 students from over 150 plus countries. How do universities like Carleton manage to attract employers for their graduates through mentorship network, leadership programs, career services, community partnerships projects, etc.? And how do you make an academic degree curriculum attractive for employers to select your graduates?
Great question, Ganga. Complex question with many answers, but I'm happy to do my best to answer that. And a big thank you again to Can-Am for facilitating this conversation today. Carleton is, I guess, a university that's really focused on experiential learning. So many aspects of our courses across all faculties that we offer are designed to give students experience outside of classroom-based learning. So of course, many students will select a degree like engineering or accounting or political science, even working in that particular field once they complete their studies. And of course, that is the main focus of the degree. But outside of just sitting in a large lecture hall, reading materials and debating, many aspects of our programs are designed to get students into the communities and working in their various fields respectively as they progress through their studies. So that gives students this extra dimension to their education. It creates real world learning opportunities, and it allows one to kind of learn more about different professional outcomes that they might want to pursue once they complete their degree, build a CV of relevant job experience as well, gain leadership skills and confidence. Some of the programs that we've employed to kind of create and facilitate those opportunities, certainly co-op and career services. Many universities and colleges in Canada have outstanding co-op programs, a concept that was actually pioneered in Canada back in the 1970s. So through co-op, of course, students are able to get relevant professional work experience directly related to their program. So they'll move through their degree, and in tandem with that, they'll actually work in various organizations directly related to their study program, making business contacts, expanding their knowledge of the field by applying their theoretical concepts in a professional way as well. Our Dean of Engineering has complained that sometimes our co-op students are offered employment as they are completing their co-op terms, and then they're sort of torn between coming back and finishing their degree or sort of starting to work, and obviously completing their degree would be hugely beneficial. So I would say co-op is one program that's been really, really huge. Another option would be, for example, through our computer science program, we've partnered with a local e-commerce based platform, Shopify, where students actually work at Shopify in tandem with completing their degree at Carleton. They earn a salary at the same time. So there's innovative ways that students can kind of get that experience while completing their degree as well. Business students, for example, partner with local businesses here in Ottawa for learning pods, where they'll take real world business problems and they'll work with students, faculty, and staff or employers on these various issues that local businesses might be encountering. And then they'll come up with solutions. And those solutions can sometimes be actually quite innovative. So throughout all of these different opportunities, I guess, students are able to kind of build that capacity in tandem with completing their studies as well, making for a more seamless transition from being a student to being a professional once they finish their degree program.
Thank you, Rob. Nee, Memorial University is in the province of Newfoundland and Labrador, one of the Atlantic Canada provinces. Very attractive nowadays for a lot of students. Now, what is the employment perspective for international students in Atlantic Canada? Are there enough jobs? And how does studying in a university in Atlantic Canada help students towards a fantastic return on their education investment through greater employment opportunities and or easier permanent residency options?
Thank you, Ganga, and nice to see everyone here. I was an intern student myself, so I have very much personal experience to share with you. Let's take a small step back. Why we're all talking about opportunities? It's because of the aging population in Canada, and Atlantic Canada has 4 provinces that we are hit the worst as compared to the rest of the Canada. There is a high demand workforce, and in the meantime, all the provinces are also promoting innovation and seeking business ideas and new developments as well. My personal experience is I've been here more than 10 years, did my degree and settled as an immigrant. This is a really welcoming and friendly community. Everyone who comes here loves it. For intern students, we provide very solid support from the university and beyond. Our immigrant advisors can provide advices about how to apply for immigration. But from the government level, intern students are considered the best dream for new immigrants. Newfoundland is the first to start the open work permit for students who are studying full-time. Previously, students, when they are on study permit, they aren't allowed to work part-time. We're one of the first province to start this new policy, hoping to attract one is to begin with offering more opportunities for students to connect with the local community. Then, it also, hope to attract students to stay, connect with the community and stay. Among the Atlantic 4 provinces, we have Atlantic Immigration Pilot Program. We also have a study and stay program. Both of these, the Immigration Pilot Program is what I call a express channel or green channel, that if you graduate from one of the universities in the A region, you can apply for immigration from any of the provinces and settle. The study and stay program is more so about having this mentorship program, support program to help you, to lead you to navigate and until the point that you get your PR and settle in the region. In terms of job opportunities, in our province, traditionally we have fisheries, forestry, now with the new economy growth, we have 4 offshore oil fields. We have a very good IT industry, and offshore operations is one of our niche area. And I think some students may be interested in marine studies. This is one of our niche area as well. All of these industries are strongly connected with our university, and lots of the industrial problems are also incorporated in our curriculum and training. And interestingly, that we have lots of graduate students that stayed after their graduation. Undergrad students as well, they have stayed. In the past, I've run into students, regardless they did engineering or non-engineering programs. I've seen students working for the government as a development officer. I've seen students, work for the banking industry, marketing company. I have MBA classmates that are working for Memorial as well, and also accounting firms. So overall, in general, that what I meant to say is there are plenty of opportunities, but our ultimate advice is students have to take the lead. It is a misperception that sometimes students think, education will lead me into employment, but you still need to work on your employability, such as communication skills, your interpersonal skills. I would echo what Chris and Rob mentioned. Do take your time to connect with the community. Of course, taking on part-time jobs is one way, but we also observe many students are contributing through volunteer work at a senior care home, at a hospital, and things like that. Yeah, so that's my the points I wish to share.
Thank you, Dee. That brings me to Carolyn. Carolyn, with your experience as a labor market analyst for the Canadian government's Department of Employment and Immigration, with postgraduate studies in social services work for immigrants and refugees, you provide a unique and valuable service to ILAC students. Would you like to tell us something about the evolving Canadian job market in BC and Ontario, as you run businesses in both provinces? And second, on being an entrepreneur in Canada. And third, how can students prepare themselves for such a role while studying in Canada?
Good, thanks, Ganga. So I think first it's important to understand why there are so many job opportunities in Canada, or specifically in these provinces. Students often ask me, like, why does Canada need more people? So it's demographics, really. So number one, we have an aging population. So we have one entire generation born in the 1950s, and they're retiring this decade. We have 9 million people retiring in the next 10 years, and the birth rate is lower. So in the 1970s, for example, for every person retiring, you had 7 people still in the workforce. That number is now in half, getting lower. So immigrants coming into the country are younger, will replace this exiting workforce, and we need the taxpayers, right? The reason Canada enjoys an excellent quality of life, fantastic infrastructure, our healthcare system, our education system, it's all paid for by people working and paying taxes into the system. And in BC and in Ontario specifically, because the main cities of Vancouver and Toronto are becoming more expensive, housing affordability is challenging. The big trend is people moving to smaller cities, which could be 1 hour away, 8 hours away. So you see the growth of these cities and job creation. And the IT sectors in both cities are anchors, certainly. But then what comes along with IT is all the infrastructure. So then come in the banks, then come in shopping centers, restaurants, growth of the healthcare system. You need the infrastructure of the construction industry to build up these communities. So you have a variety of jobs. Even if IT is the driver, it's supported by all the other areas. So when people ask, what are the top jobs? What's the number one employment? And if you say, well, it's in construction and IT and nursing, but maybe you as a student, you think, oh, but I'm an accountant, I'm in human resources, I'm in marketing. Does that mean there's no job for me? No, I always give the example of our sector. We work in education, but we're not teachers. We're marketers, we're recruiters, we're salespeople, we're accountants. So it's the same. It's the entire team comes together. So that's why we're really seeing the trend of people going to these smaller cities and colleges. 10 years ago, every student wanted to be in the big city. You couldn't convince them to go 1 hour away, but now it's not a question of convincing. Students are asking for it. Where can I go where within 5 years I can buy a house? So it's really it's wonderful to see this, and the smaller communities are welcoming international students, and it's a win-win for everybody. And question number 2, anybody with a business mind thinking of going into opening your own business. So Canada being a country of immigrants, 600,000 newcomers, so 600,000 businesses in Canada are owned by recent newcomers. There's a lot of support to open a business. Banks will give you loans. And the reason it's so important for us to have newcomers opening businesses is they provide employment. So of these 600,000 businesses owned by newcomers, half of them are also creating jobs. So you might have the single business owner working for themselves, but you have many of them creating jobs, and this is important. So yes, certainly. And in your colleges and universities, there are talent incubators, business incubators. I'm not the expert to talk about it, but if you are thinking about this, you will find a mentor and get that guidance. So it's certainly encouraged and celebrated, and possible, which is most important.
Yeah, thanks. My next question goes to Varsha. Varsha, we at CanAm have been recruiting for VIU's prestigious MBA and post-baccalaureate study for almost 2 decades. Known as a center of excellence for teaching, applied research, and learning, VIU produces quality graduates that are in demand by employers across the country and around the world. Now, tell us about universities such as VIU setting up alumni panels for international students, providing them with a platform to hear about different perspectives, make meaningful connections to help with employment opportunities, and work on collaborative ideas.
Thank you, Ganga. Well, alumni associations are definitely an asset to a university. And as I would like to share my thoughts on this, not just for VIU, I will definitely share an example for VIU, what exactly we are doing in our university. But I think they are important for all the academic institutions all over the world. And because the main purpose of the alumni community or the association is to support the students who are in campus, and they as in university we will be getting admissions everywhere, new students will come, they will get the job, they will go to the industry, they will definitely, so we need that kind of sources. These are the strength for the university. So any student organization or alumni association aim to bring like-minded individuals. At the same time, they help a lot connecting our students who are in the campus or who are heading towards completing their studies, and they are looking at the job opportunities in the market. So I think that is one strength wherein this alumni, they help a lot to the students who are existing students through the university. At the same time, what I feel is like it's very, very important role what they are playing with us in the university is because these alumni are working with different organizations in different industries, and the students who are already in the campus in the universities, they get a lot of hands-on support from them. Having said that means suppose I'm just giving an example, a student who's about to complete his study needs definitely information about how to go about the job opportunities further, where to go about, to whom to take help from. So here they can connect with the alumni association, they can explore work opportunities. So if when they are trying their hands into going into the industries, going through the job portals and everywhere, they can definitely come back to the university. They can look for the internal job opportunities which are being posted by the students who were our existing students earlier. Now they are well established in the industry, connecting our students and helping them further about the job postings and everything. just to add on to this, I think, it is also very, very helpful. Suppose a student of mine from, from my university is now working with a leading bank or any other management consulting firm or somewhere, not exactly in BC, anywhere, any other province in Canada. So we are not restricting our students to just, we are not saying that, you have work opportunities only in Nanaimo or in British Columbia. So we get a hands-on support from the alumni, those who are working in different provinces. At the same time, the students, they can apply all over. So there's no restriction for them. There's no warning for them. They can apply, they can explore job opportunities. Well, at VIU, we have students coming from 96 countries. It's a pool of students, a huge roll of student, wherein when we talk about alumni. So we have introduced a digital tool which is called a VIU Hub, over 10,000 coffees. So what is it all about? So all our existing students, they can use their LinkedIn profile, or they can download this app called VIU Hub. They just have to register there. So we have customized filter. So student, they can scroll through it. They know their profile exactly. They want to connect with the students who are already working in the industry. So this would help them to connect with them, and they know where they come from, where they want to go further. And this is how they get the endorsement from the students who are already settled and they're working in the industry. So this is what we have introduced. So student, they connect, on monthly basis, they are making like 15 to 10 connections, which is very, very unique and which is very important for them. So by the time they are through with their studies, they are all set and they're ready, because they're getting the guidance from the people who are already, they were a part of the university earlier, now they are in the industry. So this actually make them more confidence while going for the job on interviews and the further internships and all. So I think not just for VIU, but for all the academic institutions all over world, alumni plays a very, very important role. And these are not just alumni, but the brand ambassadors. And I think that's one of the very, very important strength for all of us.
Thank you, Arsha. That was really good. My next question goes to Zamir. Zamir, Fleming College is noted for its excellence in environmental and natural resources, sciences, as well as unique programs in business, museum management, and cultural heritage and social services. Now, would you like to speak about how colleges in Canada run diploma and certificate programs based on the job market in the region where they are located, and how that makes students more industry ready? You could focus on Ontario if you want.
Sure. Thank you, Ganga. First of all, yeah, Fleming is one of the colleges in Ontario with the campuses in the city of Peterborough, Lindsay, and Haliburton. Frost campus, which is in the city of Lindsay, do have a variety of unique programs in the School of Environmental and Natural Resource Sciences. 13 programs out of 30 under this school provides co-op learning, which is the most compared to other area of schools in Fleming College. We do have some other unique programs such as mechatronics, geothermals, computer security investigations, biotechnology, pharmacy, and other of the unique programs. Our Frost campus is the Center for Advancement of Water and Wastewater Technologies, and also for this heavy equipment technology. Now, at Fleming, we believe that knowledge gets stronger with experience, and for that reason, our programs incorporate experiential learning opportunities, which means doesn't matter which programs you'll be studying, you'll either be performing field placement, internships, co-op placements, or applied projects. With modern, well-equipped facilities, we are able to provide hands-on and real-world environments on campus and in community to all our students. Now, to talk in general on how colleges play an important role in education and skill development. Since our college is based on Ontario, I'll talk in general about the colleges in Ontario region. Just to give a quick overview about the Ontario, according to 2016 census, Ontario is the most populous province, contributing to 38% of the country's population. It is home to Canada's capital, Ottawa, and the nation's most populous city, which is Toronto. Ottawa is the hub of Canada's financial services, banking industry. Many cities are home to IT centers, technology, and manufacturing industries. Tourism contributes to the vital economy of central Ontario. It is also popular for energy, forest industry, education and health sector, and many more. Now, in such an increasingly job market, there are many things colleges do to prepare students to enter the workforce and have successful careers. The most significant way is by implementing number of real-world practices into the college curriculum. Program coordinators and faculties have recognized the limitation of lectures-based learning and continually work to create enhanced academic experiences for students on their campuses. These programs may include internships, capstone projects, applied research project, co-op placement, interactive learning, and field placement. Now, it is with high impact practices like this that allow students to learn the value of framework and develop
Is there some problem with the connectivity? Karim, can you hear him?
Classroom learning to real life problems.
No, ma'am, there is
Most of our faculty in
Zamir, I think there's some
Am I audible
problem
now?
with your connection.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, fine. Go ahead.
Oh, so sorry. Such a world of technology. Yeah, so I'll go just quick back. So now, as I was saying, now in such an increasingly job market, there are many things colleges do to prepare students to enter the workforce and have successful careers. The most significant way is by implementing number of real work practices into the college curriculum. Program coordinators and faculties have recognized the limitation of lecture-based learning and continually work to create enhanced academic experiences for students on their campuses. These programs may include internships, capstone projects, applied research project, co-op placement, interactive learning, and field placement. Now, it is with high impact practices like this that allow students to learn the value of teamwork, develop leadership skills, and apply classroom learning to real life problems. Now, most of the faculties are industry professional, which means, prior to their teaching career, they have worked in the industries, and even some faculties are working while they're teaching at the college. Now, this is invaluable because faculties have connection with employees and they understand the job market. That's why you will constantly see colleges introducing new programs, making changes to the current program to make sure that students are learning skills based on the current demands of the job market. Colleges also have certain department that provides tools and support to all the students while they're studying at the college, whether it's assistance with career exploration and job search skills, resume writing, job interviews, career job fairs. All of these services are available to students by the college. So to conclude this question, colleges make sure that the programs are designed in a way to provide hands-on learning, real-life practices, give them high-demand skills that will help students in getting successful in the field of study in Canada. Thank you.
Thanks, Amir. Oh, that was great. We've done our first round of questions. Now I've got some questions from the audience, and I would request anyone in the panel who would like to answer them to pick up the question. These questions I've just put them together because there are some. I've just picked up those questions which have been asked, by a large number of people. Now, what kind of programs enjoy the highest graduate placement rates in your experience? Should they be niche programs or general programs? Anyone who can answer?
I can make a few comments. It's interesting because many of the programs at Lambton have a co-op element to it, and those co-op positions usually translate into a job afterwards. So we have quite a bit of data both on co-op placement rates as well as postgraduate employment rates. Certainly in certain fields like big data, data analytics, artificial intelligence, cybersecurity. I think in your original presentation, Ganga, for Can-Am, you were talking about Toronto as the IT hub. Certainly, there's a lot of growth in IT. Pre-pandemic, hospitality was doing very well, and we expect that to rebound post-pandemic. As you know, I don't know if it's the same in other countries like India, but Canadians have a lot of savings and they want to spend. the moment they're able to travel more freely, we expect quite an increase in growth in the service sector of Canada. So, and I think with the certainly with the reduction of the number of skilled immigrants coming into the country during the pandemic, I expect that there will be labor shortages in Canada post pandemic as businesses get back to normal. So I would probably say there's the market's going to be growing quite quickly post pandemic because of the restrictions being lifted. So I would say that would serve a lot of programs very well and graduates from that. And the students that are studying now will graduate in 1 or 2 years. It'll be a perfect time for them to be well positioned. I'll turn it over to another panelist. Thank you.
I think Chris gave a really solid answer for that. One small thing I might add is, of course, many students look at the STEM subjects as being particularly useful for easy transition from study to professional life. But I think, as Carolyn mentioned in her answer, it's really true that there are all kinds of things you can do with different degrees. So studying, something like political science allows you to progress into different professional outcomes like governance, working in the nonprofit sector, even banking and finance. So I think, across all of the types of institutions that are here today and the answers that were provided, I think guests will have a solid understanding for how Canada's education system really prepares students for different professional outcomes, regardless of what you study. Some personal advice I might share with students is follow your passion. Study something that you find interesting, because success is sure to follow if you kind of stick to those guidelines.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I definitely agree to both Chris and Rob. I'll just share a couple of examples from our previous graduates. We've had graduates from engineering programs that are working as a financial analyst for the bank. We also had one graduate became a journalist, providing reflections, and personal experience and share with the audience, and build quite a good rapport in the province too. Yeah, Caroline?
Yeah, I'll just add one thing. I'm counseling students constantly, both into what they're going to choose and into where they're going to work. So between becoming a generalist or a specialist, my advice, similar to Rob, is you need to have passion for it. You're going to do this for 20, 30, 40 years. Don't do it because there's 300,000 job openings. That affects your decision, certainly. But pay attention to emerging areas. For example, like Samir was saying, new programs opening, the colleges respond quickly to needs in the labor market. Pay attention to that. Does it click with what you have studied and what you're interested in? Some emerging fields in Canada, agriculture. I mean, we all need to eat, regardless of the economy, the pandemic. Food is a constant. The healthcare industry is a constant. Technology, automation, robotics, if you have an interest in that. But I always say, if this is going to be your second credential, you did your bachelor degree, don't repeat more of the same. Do something that complements it. Do something that gives you an extra skill set, more tools in your toolbox. Because when you're competing for jobs, the HR person at the company is looking at 100 resumes, and they're going very quickly through the review, and something new and innovative will stand out. So what you studied in Canada has a huge impact. And you have an incredible variety of options from coast to coast in all of our wonderful schools.
Yeah, thanks. I think most of you touched on a little bit on the next question that is coming up. It says, I think this is more from the parents' point of view and a very realistic question. It says, is it hard to find jobs for students with arts background? What kind of program graduates within arts faculty are attractive to employers?
I'd like to follow on Rob's comment. As an employer myself, I've hired many bachelors of arts students, and it's particularly interesting because I find those students have superior communication I think this is when we're talking about general and specific skills. There's one element that spans across all programs, and that is employers want to hire new immigrants, international students, new employees that have very good communication skills. And there are certain programs like a Bachelor of Arts in Political Science. The students are often excellent at communicating. And whether you're involved in social media or you're writing marketing messages for Lambton College, those skills are frankly hard to find. And we have arts programs, for example, in culinary or in photography. And I've seen students generate and develop wonderful careers in Canada. So again, to the point of Rob and Carolyn, passion is a big thing. If you're passionate, people can see that, and it opens up doors and opportunities for you. I'll pass along to the next panelist. Thank you.
Well, I did a Bachelor of Arts. And my father said, "You're not going to be a doctor. You're not going to be an accountant. Why did I pay for university?" I went with passion. I knew I wanted to help people, right? And then I did a postgrad at Seneca in social services for immigrants. And employers do like the arts graduates because we're thinkers. We care. We're analytical. We take our time to solve problems. Different from the way an engineer solves a problem or a business person attacks a problem. So when you're part of a team, and this is it, like when you're joining a company, you're joining a team. So we all bring a different element.
Yeah, I'll quickly add, Ganga, there's always a stigma that IT or the engineering sectors have a lot of jobs. It is a booming industry. It has been since a long time, and it is going to be there. But we are also seeing a lot of other industries, coming with a lot of job opportunities, especially, not just the industry of IT and technology. We also see, we saw how important the frontline workers were during the pandemic, and this industry is obviously going to boom out like post pandemic. There is an importance of a social service worker, personal support worker, and similar to this, there is always going to be an interesting or the more opportunities for the students who are coming from the arts background. There's always an openings regarding certain areas in all companies. One company is not just going to fill all the positions related to IT technology. They'll have someone for the finance, they'll have someone for the communication, there's someone for the marketing. So it is very important. We are in the 20th century, 21st century now. The colleges are introducing new programs. So that's very important. And Carolyn mentioned as well, the students who see those programs and then, read the description, what this program is going to teach them. And that's something that will be very invaluable in the coming next few years.
Varsha, would you like to say something about your Master of Education Leadership Management? That's again something which is not science or technology driven. So do students get employed? What kind of employers would hire such students?
So, Ganga, it's a good question because we are getting a lot of applications and emails from the students from Indian subcontinent. But then, and this program is very, very popular at VIU, very economical at the same time. But there are a lot of work opportunities. So just to add on to this, I would like to share a real-time experience with one of my student who applied for the university. He was not really sure whether with 5 years of education experience, whether should I go for the application or not, whether I'll be able to get a job opportunity or not. So we highly recommend all the students to join our VIU World Facebook page, wherein we have a lot of alumni from the similar background, and they normally they are very, very, very prompt. So student, we advised him to go through that and join and just share your concerns so that you can chat with the student who has done the same program. Now he's working in British Columbia within the same industry. And that was such a good experience for him. Student applied, he's there, he's going to be there. And then I personally had a chat with the student, wanted to understand what his experience after completing this program. The student is working within a tech company very well settled. And he, as soon as he completed his, program, he got his job opportunity within 3 to 4 months of time span. And so there are lucrative job options for all the industries, not just for education leadership, I must say. And I also wanted to share one thing. If we see Canada Post and work for BC and Indeed, you will see there are thousands of jobs all over. So students they don't find it really difficult, but they don't know. But it is really difficult for the HRs to to select the to look for the right kind of a candidate for that suitable job option. So what I mean to say, it is not only for STEM programs, or I'm not talking about the engineering programs or the arts program, but at the same time, opportunities are so many. It is you will see a variety of work options. It's just that you need to figure out the program which suits your profile and which complement for your further job prospects. Yeah.
Exactly. Skills that you obtain through the training and program is more important than how the bachelor degree or master degree is called. I did my master education. Many people told me you won't get a chance to find a job. Then I found my passion to work with students and started to work for university. So just to share my thoughts about this.
Okay, one more question has come up. Says, I think this is going to be for Chris and Carolyn. Students often worry about study at private education providers, especially as the Canadian government does not allow a post-study work permit except in Quebec for study in private colleges. Chris or Carolyn, either of you could answer this question, as both Lambton as a public college and ILAC as a private provider are in private-public partnerships. Do students from PPP colleges enjoy the same employment rates as those students from public colleges?
Chris, you go
Thank
first.
Sure. Lambton has had a PPP, that's a public-private partnership in Toronto since 2006. And we've graduated, I believe, over 25,000 international students who have been eligible for a postgraduate work permit. And I think what's really important here is to recognize that students, whether they're studying at Lambton's campus in Toronto, Mississauga, or Sarnia, are all registered students of Lambton College. And as a registered student at Lambton College, they get a transcript, a credential, and are recognized as a student of a public college. And I think our history and the success that we've had with our PPPs, in fact, the government has really recognized the importance of these players in the system. They are in fact expanding in the GTA over the next couple of years, and I think part of that is, I hope, is because of the high quality standard that Lambton College is one of the first PPPs set in the market. We do quality assurance metrics on a semester by semester basis, and I can tell you that students are extremely satisfied with the quality of the education, the affordability of the education, and the postgraduate outcomes. Thank you.
Carolyn, would you like to say something?
And so ILAC is new in the PPP forum. We started in British Columbia last year, launching with Red Deer College from Alberta, and we selected programs from the two fastest growing sectors to start: IT, so 2 diplomas, and nursing, a postgrad in nursing, because there's such a demand for it. And then in Ontario, we partnered with Georgian College, a college 1 hour north of Toronto. And again, we're starting with 3 programs to get out of the gate. International business, global business. The difference between these two is the duration, 1 year or 2 years. And project management, because we've identified that project management is one of those programs that really complements everything. I like to call it like the MBA alternative. Everybody asks for master's degrees and MBAs, but it's not suitable for everyone. Project management is just a very good catch-all that makes somebody gives you that little polish. And when people are asking about the work permit afterwards, your credential is from the home campus, right? Just like Lambton College in Toronto, we're Georgian College in Toronto, Georgian College at ILAC. And that's what the employer sees on LinkedIn, on your resume. That's your final diploma.
Thank you so much. I think we finished for time now. So a huge round of applause to all the panelists today. This was one of the most enlightening and confidence building sessions under the Study in Canada brand. Just to add to that, immigration will remain central to Canada's economy and society. The 2021-23 immigration plan will see Canada target over 400,000 immigrants per year, the highest in its history, to harness the skills and talents of newcomers to support its economic growth. They need young and skilled people. You as international students in Canada should be able to contribute to their economic growth, and yours too if you plan your career well. Allow Team CanAm to be your mentors and assist you to prepare for your journey ahead. Our best wishes to you all. Our next topic today, at 6:30 p.m. Indian Standard Time, we will discuss master's degrees versus post-degree diplomas or certificates in Canada. Thank you, panelists. A zillion thanks to you all, and thanks a lot to the audience as well.
Bye-bye.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you,
You
Ganga.
as well. Have
That
a
was
great day.
wonderful.